the privilege of serving on Coach Joe's Football Advisory Committee. I'm a member of the Fort Worth Club. On behalf of Texas Wesleyan, the Fort Worth Club, I'd like to welcome you to the Davy O'Brien. Today, we're going to talk about the history you're going to make on the field this year. But in this room, there is a lot of history, a lot of players that focused on life and things that Corey talked about last night. In transitioning, Davy not only was an amazing football player, but he went on and served the country as an FBI agent. That's pretty awesome, if you ask me. He never stopped. The players on the wall, the players we recognize in this room, continue to go on as well. I know right now he's looking down at the players, the coaches, everyone in this room, and he's smiling because you're not only student athletes, and coaches aren't only coaching to win championships. You're working on becoming better young men, creating leaders of tomorrow. I'd like to thank y'all for being here. Today was made possible by the Fort Worth Club as our hosts. And Michael Thackerson, I'd like to give you a big round of applause and thank you for making this happen. I'd also like to thank Gwen, who made all of your rooms and your stay possible as well. I'd like to give Gwen a big round of applause. At this time, I'd just like to thank the fellow members of the committee to help put on last night and recognize Riata for hosting us last night. It was a fun night. I'm going to turn it over to the commissioner right now and let you guys get down to business. Have a great day.
Well, good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stan Wagnon, Commissioner of the Sooner Athletic Conference. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Fort Worth for the first ever Sooner Athletic Conference Football Media Day. No problem. It is what I think is really a great moment in history for this conference. Certainly the Sooner Athletic Conference, we just completed 40 years as an NAIA conference. We've amassed more than 100 national championships, and so there's a lot of tradition and a long storied history in this league. But for us to embark upon becoming a football conference and to be able to provide some stability for years to come for the football programs represented in this room, and for hopefully us to transfer this winning culture that our conference enjoys in these other sports. Hopefully we'll transfer that to football. And as we mentioned last night, you know, the goal here is that we're going to come alongside these football programs and hopefully be right there as you grow into championship caliber programs. We look forward to seeing the success that's going to come to this conference based on the work that you guys put in on the football field. There's a lot of thank yous to go around in an event like this, and certainly Tim has thanked our hosts here at the Fort Worth Club, and I want to echo his comments there. But Tim and Gino, and there's a lot of guys on in the background here at Texas Wesleyan that have really rallied to help Coach Joe Prudhomme. And Joe, you've done a great job of organizing this for us. But really all the folks here at Texas Wesleyan have done a great job of putting their best foot forward. So we want to thank you. I also want to thank a couple of our sports information directors who have really kind of stepped up and filled in the gap this summer, especially with this event. Ryan Keating is a new SID here at Texas Wesleyan and has done a great job of helping us out here locally with the logistics. Justine Gaskamp is our SID at Oklahoma Panhandle State, and she's been very instrumental in helping us to pull off this event as well. And so thank you to all those. I know there's others. Alyssa works out of Justine's office, and so there's others that have contributed, but I want to make sure that we thank those who have put in a great deal of work. The conference has hired a new sports information director, and that's Rich Tortorelli. He also serves at Oklahoma City University, but he'll be heading up the information director position for the conference, and he's here today. So Rich, thank you for being here and for the work you're about to do. Tim Crowley is here. He is the football supervisor of officials for the Sooner Athletic Conference, and so those of you in the media who might want to be getting a story about rule changes and points of emphasis from an officiating standpoint, he's here to be of service to you today, so I would encourage you to talk to him. Tim, we thank you for what you're going to do with SAC football. We know that the officials you represent do things the right way, and we look forward to working with you. So with that said, I know you guys are here for a different reason than to just hear me speak all morning. So I want to go ahead and get into the business at hand. What we'd like to do at this Media Day event is to announce to you the preseason poll. And this poll was voted on by the 9 head coaches in our league. Each of them cast their ballots. They were not permitted to vote for their own team. Once we reveal the poll, they're going to announce 3 preseason individual awards for the preseason Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Special Teams Player of the Year. So hopefully by the time we make these announcements, you'll have a good idea of what our coaches are expecting on the field this fall. And obviously, as we all know, it doesn't always go that way, but certainly we get a feel for how things are going to start. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the 2018 Sooner Athletic Conference football preseason poll. Those of you in the room, we've got the poll displayed on our TV screens over here. Taking the top spot in this year's poll with 7 first-place votes and 63 total points is the Lions from Langston University. Langston completed the regular season last year unbeaten, 10-0 record, and they are entering the 2018 season as the SAC favorite. We had a tie for second in the poll. First, with 1 first-place vote and 51 total points, is Arizona Christian. ACU won the Central States Football League in 2015 and 2016, so they certainly know what it takes to win a conference championship. Tying for second also, again, 1 first-place vote and 51 points total, Southwestern Assemblies of God. The Lions there, again, tied for second with ACU in the preseason poll. Next, we have in 4th place, Oklahoma Panhandle State. The Aggies had 46 total points. We had another tie for 5th place. Tying for 5th, our first of all was Lyon from Arkansas with 30 points, and also Wayland Baptist from Plainview, Texas with 30 points as well. Rounding out the poll in 7th place, first-year program Ottawa of Arizona with 22 points. 8th place, Texas College with 16 points. And in 9th was Texas Wesleyan with 15 points. Second-year program there for Texas Wesleyan. So that's the preseason poll. And what we'll do once I make these announcements on the awards is I'm going to turn it over to Jesse Godding, and he's going to let you hear directly from these teams and their players that are here to represent the program. And we're going to do that in reverse order of the poll. So you'll hear from Texas Wesleyan first, on up through the poll, and hear from Langston, our predicted champion. You'll hear from them last. So the next thing we want to do is announce our preseason individual awards for the conference. We're going to start with the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in 2018, and that award goes to C.J. Collins, quarterback from Southwestern Assemblies of God. C.J. is a senior out of Bosqueville. Last year passed for over 2,800 yards and 26 touchdowns. So congratulations, C.J. He was also the Offensive Player of the Year last year in the CSFL. Our 2018 preseason Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nate Leathid, linebacker from Panhandle State. Nate is a junior out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and he was able to pick up 69 tackles last year, 32 unassisted. He had 2.5 sacks and an interception, and was a second-team All-CSFL selection. On the preseason Special Teams Player of the Year, we have Ignacio Gomez, who is a sophomore punter and kicker out of Lyon College. He makes his home in Wilmer, Texas. And last year, during his freshman campaign, Ignacio was able to make 9 of 12 field goals, 37 out of 39 extra points, and he also averaged nearly 40 yards handling the punting chores for Lyon College. So that's your 3 individual award winners as we head into the season. I will let you know that both CJ is here, our offensive player, and Nate is here, our defensive player. So you guys have a chance to talk with them individually once we get through the program. So at this time, I am going to turn it over to Jesse Gotting. And let me first say that as Jesse comes up, he's the Director of Athletics at Southwestern Assemblies of God. He also serves as the AD's liaison to our football coaches and the sport of football in the Sooner Athletic Conference. And he has been as instrumental as anyone in administering this transition of these teams into the Sooner Athletic Conference, and has been a great help to me and someone I've enjoyed working alongside. And so, Jesse, we appreciate you stepping in to lead this part of the program. And once the 9 teams have come up and participated, we'll then have an open interview session to where those of you here in the media will make the players and coaches available to you to get any one-on-one interviews that you want to get after the program's ended. So thanks again for being here, and Jesse, it's all yours.
Thank you, Commissioner. Welcome to everybody. Let's get to the part that we want to do here. If Texas Wesleyan, if they coaches and players would join me on the stage here. Coming up is head coach Joe Prudhomme, and he's in his 2nd year at Texas Wesleyan. And then joining him as players are Donovan Isom, the QB. He's a senior from Destrehan, Louisiana, and Mike Miller, who's a cornerback, who's also a senior from Plano, Texas. So, Coach Prudhomme, entering your 2nd year with Wesleyan football and having started the program, so I say 2nd year, but really 3rd. I think you've been working at it that long. What's your opening remarks, or what would you have for us at beginning year 2?
Well, I would say last year we learned a lot on the field, what it took to compete in the conference, the speed of play, the athletic level that goes along with it, what it takes to really get the program in place. We had a lot of turnover. We overhauled a lot of things we were doing. We decided to speed up the offense, go to up-tempo, and we had to get some players to do that. So we have a lot of new faces, offensively, defensively. Got a new coordinator, Kyle Cox, really excited about him, and had a great recruiting season. So we feel like we put ourselves in a good position for this coming year.
Good. You know, you were one of the ones when we were talking about this in April, you came forward and said, hey, let's do this thing in Fort Worth. Let's get this going. And obviously what you've done here is just tremendous. And so how does that, doing this here in Fort Worth, having exposure in Fort Worth, how has that helped your program?
Well, it helps with visibility. It helps with, I think, the entire league in a market this size. And we have a lot of guys in the back row, like Tim and our advisory council that they do a great job. And they're the ones that have put us ahead off the field and allowing us to put a better product on the field. And so that, to me, was very, very critical for us to get this as high profile for the league as possible, because whenever we're playing a non-conference game, any of our teams, I root for that team, because we got to get to a point to where we're in the playoffs, where we're making noise every year. And I just thought this would be something that could help us get to that goal.
Coach, last year I'm sure you had a set of expectations as a first-year program. Right. This year, how have team goals or expectations changed, the way you're talking to players for the 2nd year, knowing what's in front of you?
Well, basically, it's what we've told them is our direction is straight up. We were at the bottom. We played poorly, had a lot of injuries, a lot of challenges. And the way we're talking about now, we're not there to just compete. We're there to win, there to put something out there that people have to really plan for and get ready for. Because last year we weren't, and we knew that. But I feel like we've made some big, big strides, coaching-wise, player-wise.
Okay, Donovan, I got a question for you. You're coming in and you're being asked to be the leader of the Rams offense, new coordinator. You got a couple of seasons already under your belt at Southeastern Louisiana. So how did your time at Southeastern Louisiana prepare you for where you're at now and to be the starter this season?
It just preparation, hard work, and, just being disciplined, just paying attention to what my coach would be telling me. And I think from that, for at Southeastern transition to Texas Wesleyan was pretty easy.
Thank you. Mike, you guys defensively, at times you were pretty salty last year. So this year coming in, what are your goals individually, and then defensively, what goals do you have?
Defensively, we want to work as a unit. Last year, we didn't make a lot of plays that we should have, missed a lot of tackles, gave up a lot of third down conversions. So I think as a team, we want to focus on stopping teams on third down, getting off the field, helping our offense out.
How about individually?
Individually, I just want to improve from last year. There's a lot of plays that I could have had that I didn't last year, so that's my sole focus for individual goals.
Okay, now you've played all the teams in the CSFL last year. So going into this year, is there one game that you're particularly looking forward to or one opponent that you really enjoyed playing?
I'm looking forward to all the opponents that we play. So,
well, gentlemen, thank you for your time and best of luck in the 2018 season. And as these guys are dismissed, we'll ask for the Texas College players and coach to come up. Coming up for Texas College, looking sharp in that bow tie, is head coach Charles Moss, who's also in his second year at Texas College. And then joining him is an offensive lineman, Forrest Goodrich, senior from Houston, Texas. And then Montel Barry is D lineman, who's a senior from Duncanville, Texas as well. And Coach, just give us some opening remarks for your second year and where Texas College is headed this year.
I think Texas College is in a good place. We got a chance to go to our first spring ball this past spring. A great recruiting class coming in. Texas College is in a good place, I think. I think we got a chance to be competitive, play good football coming up this football season.
Coach, you told me yesterday that you've kind of pushed the roster out to about 150 for this fall, and you've got 15 starters returning. So how do you blend that number of new individuals on a team with the culture that you've begun to establish in the first year?
Well, that's a good question. I'm going to get a chance to go out there and be competitive. We got numbers, which means that we're going to have depth this coming up season. Going through fall camp with our new freshman class coming in, our transfers, we get a chance to put everything together and go out there and play one play at a time during practice and see who's the best guy coming into our first game against Texas Wesleyan.
Okay, last question for you, Coach. If you had to complete this sentence, the key to having a successful season at Texas College in 2018 is?
Be consistent.
Want to elaborate on that? I guess you finished the sentence, so I guess that's it, huh?
Be consistent! Exclamation mark.
That's it. Be consistent. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Forrest, you're part of an offensive line. Offensive linemen usually are a cohesive group and kind of different ducks on a team, but they usually stick together. What's it like being at Texas College, and what's your favorite part of being an offensive lineman?
I love Texas College. It's a historic HBCU, the oldest institution in Tyler, Texas. And it's a small school, but we one big family. And being on the offensive line, I love it. The physicality, putting people to the dirt. That's my game.
So Texas College, you're now a senior there, so you've been there a number of years. What has been the highlight of being at Texas College over your academic or athletic career?
I would say football. Football is just what keeps me going. Keeps me going every day, even in the classroom. If I want to play football, I got to get my grades right.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Montel, what are your goals individually? I mean, I've been able to watch Texas College football for a long time, and you guys improved dramatically last year defensively. And so this year, what are your goals individually going into this year? And then as the Steers defense, what are your goals?
Our goal this year is just take it one game at a time, one play at a time, one quarter at a time, and one game at a time.
How about you individually? Where do you want out of this year?
I just want our team to play as one and do the best we can.
So tell me, is Coach Moss a good guy to play for?
Yes, sir. He's unbelievable.
What do you like?
Thank you, Martell.
What do you two guys really like about Coach Moss in terms of his coaching style?
He just let us be us on the field and get the feel for the game, and he just keep it simple for us.
Okay. How about you?
Great guy. Great guy. You know, he got his perks, but
You
at the end of the
guys,
day,
you guys all went to the same school for answering questions. You got it from the Coach Moss school. Consistent, yeah.
consistent guy. He got his perks, but at the end of the day, he's trying to get us better.
Good. Let me ask you guys this. Since Coach Moss came in, what kind of changes have you seen within the program? Because you were both there prior, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what kind of changes have you seen within the program, either culture or whatever you want to comment on?
I would say the discipline level. More people are in. They're locked in to the program, and it's all football, football, football. That's all we worry about.
And the workouts,
Yeah, that too.
it's tough now.
All right, Coach Moss, before I let you guys go, anything you want to follow up on?
Not really. Well, I can't wait for the football season to start. I think our conference is good. It's this is my second season, my second conference in 2 years. I think this conference kind of mixed in with the new Arizona team of Ottawa. I think we're going to have
Alive for about 500 and some days right now. And so, and then the players, our group of players, we've got a group of original guys that have been around that building since, day one. And we asked a group of guys, about 125 guys last August, to show up and practice every day and not have a game to play for or not have a season or anything like that to look forward to. And then we had to talk them into sticking around over Christmas break and come back and do it again for the spring and say, hey, there's something out there for you that's going to be exciting and a lot of fun to do. And so, it's just a group of guys, collectively, coaches and players, that have done a great job of just seeing the future and the light at the end of the tunnel for this season to come. And I know they're really excited.
Coach, you're getting to do something that not a lot of coaches get to do in their lives, and that's start a program. And whether that's a positive to you or a negative at this point, but just not everybody gets to do it, because from day one, you don't inherit anything. You set the philosophy and the structure for everything. So what was the philosophy of starting a new program, and then what were the priorities?
Well, you asked that question about what are the priorities when you walk into anybody that's started a brand new football program before, it's kind of funny because you don't even have a shoelace, you don't have a mouthpiece, you don't have a chin strap, you're looking around the room going, man, we got to order everything. We don't have one thing. I used to joke with Coach Steele all the time. I was like, I just want to go over to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy one helmet and a football just so I could say we have equipment. We don't even have that. And so I think, the exciting thing about it is that when you're really looking at doing it, it's just the start. And I think that is the thing that is, if anybody's ever done that and you really, really look at it, one, you only have one person to blame. If you don't like the product, you don't like what's happening in your building or the coaching staff or the players or whatever it is, then just stop doing it. Break it right now. You're not caught in a deal of, well, this is how we've always done it here, or this is just the way it is. This is how we have to do it. No, you don't. And I think that's kind of fun. If we don't like the way we practice, we don't like a meeting schedule, all right, we're not going to do that anymore. It doesn't fit us. It doesn't fit our university. It doesn't fit our kids and our players or our coaches. So just start it all over and do it again. I think that was the exciting thing about it. Just watching it grow. I think that right there alone is. We didn't have a guy. We might have had 3 or 4 players that had ever played with each other either in high school or junior college or someplace before, and none of our guys had ever been coached by any of our coaches on staff. And so when we roll out there last August, and there was not a coach on our staff that had ever worked together before. And so there wasn't a guy there that had ever been around each other in a meeting, on a field,
And I think that was the most exciting part about it, was watching that thing just grow as we got towards October and fall break, and watching how those kids and coaches all became one and kind of really became a cohesive group. And you could see those guys start to build on each other. That was probably the most enjoyable part of the whole thing, is really truly watching a whole team come together. It wasn't just, well, we're introducing 15 new guys or 30 new players like a lot of us do every year. You were introducing really about 145 people together for the first time, and that was an exciting time.
So this year being the first year, obviously want to be competitive. Wins and losses are a big deal, but give me 2 or 3 benchmarks that you're going to use in a first-year program to say we're moving forward, we've succeeded.
Well, we all laugh. All of us coaches, we sit there and watch the coach speak of, well, we just want to play hard, we want to limit turnovers, we want to be consistent and all that. And it's for us. I mean, that is the true bare bones, smallest thing you can bail it down to. Can we just work hard every day? Can we just be in the building and really truly enjoy that cliche, I guess, the process. Everybody always says the process and all that, but when you've got a group of guys that have really never been in that huddle before, when it really, really counts, all of us together, coaches and players, are truly going to have to trust that process of being one collective group, because we don't have 100 years of football history to lean on. And then on the other end, some of us, have probably been in places where that past 100 years isn't a good history anyway. And so you got to break that habit or the culture or whatever that is. And so I think those are really the benchmarks. Really truly enjoy each other, enjoy coming to work every day, and then it just boils down to the last part of it, is just work hard every day. And I think every coach in this room tells their guys the same thing all the time. And I harp on it with our guys and coaches all the time. If we just work hard every day, if you just work hard, you have a chance. If you don't work hard, none of us have a chance. And I think that's the thing with our group. Come together and just work as hard as we possibly can.
All right, Javon, you're one of the original 125 that walked onto a practice field and said, I got 12 months of this before I get to play a game. Being there last year and now finally seeing a full roster of teammates this fall and stuff, how excited are you for the season?
It's very exciting. I would say we got a lot of guys that bought into a program that had nothing. Like, we came, there was dirt lots, and we had to practice at a park. So it just goes to show that we got a bunch of guys that really, truly love football. So I feel like it's going to be exciting to get to play with all these guys and build that brotherhood that we need and start traditions at our campus. So I'm very excited for that.
So you are not only at a new football program, but OUAZ isn't exactly a long-standing school either. So
Yeah.
How has the experience been as a student athlete at a practically new campus?
The student aspect of it, it's great. I like how the school sets up the semester rule. So classes are very easy. It's easy for us to cope with football and class as well. And then from the football point of it, it's the coaches do a good job of working around our schedule, giving us our schedule ahead of time, making sure nothing interferes with one another. And they help us off campus as well with jobs and housing and stuff like that we need. So everything so far has been going pretty smooth.
So last question for you here, Javon. Have you and your teammates talked about the travel schedule at all?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. We look at it, see who we play, excited to go on a few road trips, see what we get to do, hang out, stuff like that.
Do you know what the longest road trip is you have?
I think it's to Sagu, I believe. Okay. I believe so.
Okay.
Oh, unless Langston's farther. I'm not too sure.
They're both a long ways from Arizona. It doesn't matter. That's good. Coach, any last comments?
No, just really excited for our kids. Really excited to be in this conference, and just as a newcomer to this deal and doing the media days and stuff like this, Coach, I think you guys here did a great job, you and your coaching staff from Texas Wesleyan. This is a fantastic event, and this is a first-class deal. And I think a lot of times when we start doing things like this, we always still got to remember it's a player-driven event. It's for the players. It's for our kids. It's for our student athletes that spend the time. And the better we can make this event, the more enjoyable it is for the kids. Because I already know he's got teammates at home right now that are going, why didn't I get to come? Why didn't I get to go do that? And that's what we want. We want people to be excited about this and the kids to be excited about this. So from our coaching staff, I just want to tell the conference office and the coaches at Texas Wesleyan, thank you. It was a great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Coach. Guys, I appreciate your time up here, and we're going to dismiss you and bring up Wayland Baptist. And joining me on the stage now is head coach Butch Henderson from Wayland Baptist and Keaton Vaughter, who's an O-lineman, senior from Bridgeport, Texas. And then Mitchell Parsley, who is a QB senior from Crowell, Texas. And Butch, I think you're the old guy in the room in terms of coaching in the Central States and Sooner Athletic, right?
You talking about older by age or older
No.
by longest
I'm
leg?
talking about you're the.
Tell you, whichever way you're trying to go, I'm probably I am the oldest.
Either way, huh?
Either way.
I think
either
you're
way.
the dean of coaches, though.
I'm the dean
in the
of
room.
coaches. I'm the oldest of the coaches, so they got to all listen to what I tell them to do. To mind, being respectful
Of their elders.
Of their elders.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they'll do it that way, it'll really work well for us.
Well, Coach, if you would go ahead and from your wisdom of ages give us some opening remarks, we would appreciate it.
As we look at this next football season, we've got a group of young men that have really pulled together. We had more young men that stayed on our campus this summer and worked out together. Keaton may talk a little bit about that, but we've got all of our offensive linemen back. They are all on our campus through the summer, and I don't know that they're working any harder than they would have worked at home, but seeing that camaraderie that they have has been exciting for me, and watching them be able to work and knowing that's the bulk behind what we need to do. Offensively, we've got somebody that started in every position except one back. Defensively, we've got to go in and build some pieces, but we feel like our recruiting class is going to allow us to do that. So it's brought a lot of excitement, a lot of direction to our campus, and we'll get ready for football season.
Coach, you were on the ground floor of starting Wayland's program, and anytime you start a program, NAIA, there tends to be some roster turnover. Now you've got 50 lettermen returning. How are you? Is it easier now to incorporate the new guys coming in to what is already established, and than it was before? And how have you gone about that?
Well, you have your culture started, how you would want things done and what you want them done. But it's still going to fall back on what your seniors do and your leadership, like these two young men and what they're setting for those young men that come in. It's like anything you do. If your seniors step back and just sit and watch and say, hey, freshmen, here you are, here we are, stand there, it's not going to ever come together. But if you've got seniors that we've had very fortunate to have that reach out, try to pull those young men in, come in, be a part of our culture, be part of what we do. It really helps you make steps and be who you want to be. Wayland's unique, and we're not like everybody else, and so they have to come in and be a part of that culture that's there at Wayland Baptist University.
All right, Keaton, I'm going to turn to you here. You're one of 10 returning starters on offense.
Yes, sir.
So what are your expectations for the offensive unit this year?
Mostly just dominate. I think that was our main problem last year, is we had a lot of new guys out there, it seemed like, especially on the offensive line. And we didn't know how to play together, basically. So I think that's one reason why we all stayed over the summer, was to kind of get more of a brotherhood going, kind of get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully play better as a unit.
Now, that was a decision that you guys made as a unit?
Yeah, there's 8 offensive linemen that stayed. Pretty much all the starters and then a few seconds.
Okay. Is there a particular game or opponent that you look forward to playing every year?
Oh, no, just as long as I get on the field and hit someone, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right, Mitchell, the first question I'm going to ask you is, now you're a senior this year, and I don't know if a whole lot of people know this, but in high school you were a 6-man quarterback, right?
Yes.
So having made that transition and made it successfully, last year you threw for 1,700 yards and had 12 touchdowns, and you've had a number of good years here in a row. What was the biggest thing about transitioning from 6-man to 11-man football?
Well, the field was definitely more crowded, a lot more people out there, but I think the biggest transition was the timing. You know, in 11-man, it's all about timing, and 6-man, I just basically waited around until somebody got open. But 11-man, you have to be on top of it. You know, you have your timing, everything works as one.
What are you, now you're still moving from 6-man to 11-man. Obviously, you've made that adjustment. You've improved each year. What do you look at this year and say, this is what I want to improve on as a quarterback?
The most thing I want to improve on is my timing and accuracy and leadership. Just getting everybody to play as one and stick together, and no matter what, that we're all together, and then you know the winnings and everything will come from that right there.
You say leadership. How do you lead? How do you go about leading?
I'm a little vocal, but I like to think that I show you can follow me instead of listen to me. I play more with my actions than with my words.
Okay. Thank you. So from last year, where you had some success, what's your favorite memory from last season? Any of the touchdown passes stand out, or are you like everybody else and only the interceptions stand out?
I try to forget about those. But I don't know, it's just when everything starts coming together, that's what I like to see is, you know, we had like the 5th-year seniors my sophomore year, and then coming in last year, it was a brand new deal. You know, like Keaton was saying, it was all new faces on the line. It was almost like a brand new start. I mean, the guys have been there, but they never played before. And so everybody's getting the feel for it, and it was about the 4th or 5th game. And to see everything starting to come together, like we started rolling, that was the best thing I saw. I think we were playing Lyon College. And that first half, it was awesome to see all the pieces coming together.
Excellent. Well, Butch, I'm going to leave this with you, and as the Dean of Coaches here in the conference, what kind of, you see where the SAC is at now, and we're going on this venture of football. What would you say about the history and where we're at now in terms of this conference?
I think we've really strengthened the conference by coming into the SAC. I think the football teams that were in the Central States Football League will still be great football teams. They're well coached, but having the umbrella of the SAC to direct us and pull us together, I think will make a big difference. I also think, and this is just from the point of being a Raider for the NAIA, that the SAC will actually draw more recognition because of name, because it's been there a long time, that we won't have to overcome, well, you know, what is the Central States Football League? I think people look at it as SAC. They know the number of championships that have come out of the SAC, and I think it'll help us broaden or grow football much quicker.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time. I'm going to dismiss you guys and have Lyon College come on up. Coming up for these guys is the new head coach of the Lion Scots, and that's Casey Crehan. And then joining him is Trey Hawkins, and Trey has been there since the inception of the program, and he is a defensive back, a senior from Houston, Texas. Coach, welcome to the league. Give us your opening remarks as a first-year head coach at Lion.
Well, first of all, very excited to be here. This is a historic day, the first media conference in the first year of football for this conference. I want to thank Stan for putting this thing together. This is first class, and you and your whole team have done a tremendous job. Glad to be at Lion College. It's a great academic institution and a proud tradition in athletics, too. And we're led by a tremendous president. We have a new president who has an outstanding vision for our football program and an even bigger vision for our institution as a whole. So very excited to be at Lyon College, honored to be at Lyon College, and excited about the future there. Proud to introduce to you next to me Trey Hawkins. Trey is a senior and a defensive back. Our program is relatively new as well, and Trey has been there since the beginning of the program. I've obviously only known Trey a short time because I've only been on the job about 6 months, but he has immediately impressed me, not only for his football playing abilities, but who he is as a man and who he is as a character individual. But the thing I'm most proud of Trey for is his academic success at Lyon College. He was, and not to embarrass Trey, but he was taken into Lyon College as more of a higher risk student out of high school, and he's been a success story that we all can be proud of and we like to see. Trey has excelled not only on the football field but in the classroom as well, and he's just a testament to what this program is and where we hope to be in the future.
So Coach, I don't know that people realize, but you inherited a winning team, 6-5 last year, and you have 40 Lettermen returning on the roster. So when you got to Lyon, what was the thing that impressed you about that group? And then moving forward this year, what's one aspect that you said, okay, we need to improve here though?
Well, one of the things that impressed me is how hard these kids are willing to work. You know, they've been through a lot at this institution, you know, from starting football, like Coach said, in dirt lots and no locker rooms and a locker room that's a bunch of hangers. And these kids immediately embraced our culture as a coaching staff and what we tried to instill, bought into that culture and worked very hard. And some really good leaders like the man sitting next to me has aided in that process.
All right, so your special teams player of the year, preseason special teams player of the year is your guy. Is he still going to handle all those chores coming up this year?
He will, and I'll tell you what, there's no kicker in college football I'd rather have. His nickname's Nacho. That's what we all call him, but there's no kicker in college football I'd rather have than him. You know, we put some pressure on him during practice at times in terms of you make this kick, no conditioning, you miss, work conditioning, and they weren't always easy kicks. And you know, he nailed them every time, and he did miss one time, and you know, the message to the team that day was, if that ever happens to our football team, not one play ever determines the outcome of the game. And you know, but at the end of the day, when he's put in those situations, there's no other kicker in the league I'd rather have on our side than Nacho.
Trey, let's talk about defense. So you, last year, 37 tackles, 4 interceptions. How do you prepare yourself for a game? How do you get yourself into a position where you know, hey, I can make those plays and get in on those plays?
A lot of it is just before games, I like to relax. You know, I do yoga. I just take time to really visualize what I want to do before the game, and I watch a lot of film. That's the only thing I do. If I cut the TV on, I'm watching film. So it's just a lot of more so visualizing and knowing what the play is going to be before it happens, and it helps me. It helps me a lot for my game.
Now, over your career, you've played everybody in the room except for the new program.
Right.
So what's one game that you're maybe looking forward to this year, or over the course of your career since Lions started football, has a rivalry developed with a program?
I wouldn't say a rivalry, but it's more so just I have a good respect for like Arizona Christian, SAGU, because I know those guys are going to come with it. And Langston, you know, I know those guys, I kind of really got to buckle my helmet up. You know, I really got to sit down and prepare for those weeks. But those are the weeks that I want to prepare for, you know, because I want to go to the next level. So those are the type of games that I really kind of like and I get to prepare for. And, you know, you got the Offensive Player of the Year playing for SAGU, so I kind of look forward to something like that, being on defense. Just good competition.
That's good. Coach, I'm going to close this with you. And in looking at offense, defense, special teams, new coaching staff, how much adjustment do you think there will be in the first couple games of the year, or do you guys think you'll hit the ground running?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say whether we'll hit the ground running. You know, my message to the team will be embrace the grind and cherish every day. Not everybody gets to play college football, and you know, playing it at Lyon College is by invitation only. I just want, as a coaching staff and as a football team, for us to embrace the grind, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey with each other every day, and you know, like Coach said earlier, work hard every day. You're never going to regret hard work, and I think if we do that, you know, our success as individuals and our success as a unit will take care of itself.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck this season. Coming up to the stage at this point will be Oklahoma Panhandle State. Coming up is their head coach, Russell Gaskamp, and then Nate Leathed, a linebacker who is a junior from Colorado Springs, Colorado. So, Coach, I'll just have you start off with your opening remarks.
First, I feel really bad for whoever put this all together to not drink one of these bottled waters, so I appreciate that. I want to thank, first and foremost, the Sooner Athletic Conference stand for putting this together. This is a first-class event. Look forward to many in the future. I want to thank the Texas Wesleyan Athletic Department and all of their sponsors. This is a type of event like this is not possible without you guys, so I really respect you guys stepping up and getting this done. So proud to be a member of the Sooner Athletic Conference. I have kind of a unique perspective of this deal. Panhandle was once an affiliate member of the CSFL. We spent a year in the Lone Star Conference and then had the honor to be able to join the CSFL and join the NAIA ranks last year. And I can tell you, just as a side note, the level of play in this league is so much better than when we started first playing teams in this league in 2012. And there's some outstanding coaches in this league, some guys that are doing great things with their programs. And so we're just very proud of it. I know that there's a national champion that's going to come out of this league very soon. Obviously, we hope it's Panhandle State, but there's some great football being played. Last, I'd like to, again, thank our administration, our athletic director, Megan Mulcahy, and our president, Dr. Tim Fulton, for giving me the honor. I've been the head football coach. This will now be my 7th season at Panhandle State, and we have some incredible things going on at our university, including a major renovation to our game field, a dynamic scoreboard that's going up, and there's a lot of people on campus that are working very hard to get that done right now, so I want to thank them. I also want to thank our assistant coaches and our players. We have 70 guys that are on campus right now this summer working out. I think that's unique for an NAIA program, and that is being done solely because they're willing to make the sacrifice to stay there over the summer and push for what our ultimate goal is, which is to win the SAC Conference Championship. So I want to thank all those people.
Coach, thank you. Now, we've actually got a couple questions from the Panhandle fan base that came through on Twitter here. So we're going to ask you those.
Were any of them from my bosses?
Well, no, probably from the SID, but not from your bosses. The first question involves what was your rationale for scheduling a non-conference game with NCAA Division I Grambling, and will the Aggies try to play more FCS teams in the future?
We have, since I've been there, we have played, I believe, 5. This will be the 6th. Division I opponent that we've played. I think it's a great experience for our guys. But the reality of a small school like Panhandle State is that, well, you put it this way, our weight room this year, our upgrade to our weight room will probably be named after Grambling State. So we're very excited about that. I think it's a great opportunity, obviously, and I think I echo for the rest of the room. We all hated to see Bacone have to drop out of the league. Feel for their players, feel for their coaches. It's a reality of where we're at, with some of the universities, especially in the state of Oklahoma. But we were very excited to take that game. We're always willing to play any game like that. Not only are we playing Grambling State, but we're getting a great opportunity to play West Texas week 2. That is something that's very important to our fan base, and hopefully we have an opportunity, third time's a charm, hopefully get a chance to beat them.
Okay, next question's from Twitter as well. And you were asked, there's been some upgrades and improvements to the facilities as well as new sponsorships. So how has that affected the atmosphere and the outlook on campus and in Goodwell?
Well, there is a ton of excitement going around our program right now. For some of the schools that have had the unique pleasure of coming out to Panhandle State and playing, I think we have one of the greatest home atmospheres in NAIA. You know, we've got a heck of a tailgate area. I think last year we played Texas Wesleyan the last game of the year. We sold, we had 40 tents out in our tailgate, people having a great time and enjoying that. And more than anything, I think that is a direct a result of what our kids are doing in the community, our kids giving back to the community, the people seeing that we generally have good kids that care about being part of the Panhandle State family and being part of Texas County. So there's a lot of excitement. You know, it's a different football program, Coach. You would know as good as any, you know, from 2012 to where we're at now, and we're very proud of that, and I'm very honored to be the head coach and overseeing that.
Well, Nate, they hit you up on Twitter as well. And so their question for you
Now, you know
is,
Nate doesn't have Twitter, right? So I don't know how that's possible.
Well,
He's the only kid in this room who probably has no Twitter, so.
well, you're sitting next to a guy who doesn't. So how did the offseason go this summer, and what's your expectation for the season?
Well, through the offseason, we've just worked really hard. We had a lot of guys sacrificing. We have a lot of guys working full-time jobs while taking full-time classes to stay on campus and to work. We're waking up at 4 in the morning to go work out, going straight from workouts to where we work, and then afterwards probably going to play 7-on-7, work agility drills. We're working very hard. I'm just expecting us to come out and we're going to play hard. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to show what we've been working and how we've been sacrificing and been willing to do things other people are not.
What full-time job does one get in Goodwell, Oklahoma in the summer?
I work at Seaboard, which is a pig processing plant. I work on the farms, namely the lagoons. So I am working with the affluent all day. So after I work out, I shower to go work with the lagoons, which is a lot of fun, but it pays well, and I get a chance to become the best player I can be.
And we'd like to thank Seaboard for their sponsorship of OPSU Athletics.
Well, Nate, you've been selected as the preseason defensive player of the year. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's just an honor, you know. It just, for me, I've been working hard to try to be a better player. I came in as a freshman, and I was not ready for college football. So it just, for me, it kind of justifies, like, I didn't go home last summer either, so I've just been working hard. And it's just, also, it's a testament to my teammates, you know, where they've been, for the linemen taking up the offensive linemen so they can't get to me so I can go make plays. The coaches helping me get ready for the season. Coach Gibb, Coach Walker, all of them have been helping me a lot to get ready, and so it's a kind of testament to them too, that they've been helping me develop.
Last question for you. You were came in into an NCAA Division II program, made the transition to an NAIA program. Have you stayed? Some of your teammates left. You chose to stay. Can you tell us a little bit about your thought process?
I just, after my freshman year, just fell in love with the school. It was just a great fit for me. It's a small school. I can go talk to my professors about certain things. They're like the atmosphere at the school and the atmosphere of the program, whether it's NCAA, NAIA, just didn't change. It was a family atmosphere. You're not just a number. You're like, I'll be walking through town, and I'll just have someone talk to me like, "Hey, I saw you at the game. You did a great job," or something like that. It's the atmosphere of Goodwell and Guyman that just, it sets it apart. You know, that's the reason why I stayed. Like, the school is just something else. It's a special place.
Excellent. Well, Coach, do you have any follow-up to what Nate has said?
Well, we have a big game one. You know, we're going to be able to play Hastings College, which is going to be a cross-conference opponent in the NAIA. I think it's going to be a great evaluation of us of where we're going to be as a football team. I really felt like that we had a team last year. I thought I had a chance to win the league. We had a chance to be a playoff team. We just turned the ball over too much last year. It killed us all year. It's been a driving force for what we've done in the offseason. We feel like that if we can get more consistency on the offensive side of the ball, defensively we're going to be really good. Our front seven is going to be lights out. I really feel that way. Nate's obviously a great player. We're going to have 3 other guys at linebacker. They're going to be really good players. So if we can be really solid at the defense side of the ball, which I think we will be, and be more consistent and take care of the football, I think we got a great chance to win the league, or at least have a chance to be very competitive in the league. And obviously, we'd love to be in position by the end of the year when we get to play our rivals, Langston, over there for the Battle of the Bell, to have a great season, and we're very excited about it.
Guys, thank you very much, and best of luck to you in the 2018 football season. We appreciate your time here today. All right, joining me on the stage now, team tied for second, Southwestern Assemblies of God, head coach Ryan Smith, and then with him to his left is C.J. Collins, a senior from Bosqueville, Texas, a quarterback, and then to his right is Jeremy Carr, wide receiver, senior from Austin, Texas. So, Coach, first-year head coach for the Lions, give us your opening remarks.
Well, I think in the process of this, we're extremely excited about our season. You know, the thank you list gets really long. I'd like to thank Coach Godding. I played for Coach Godding, which dates him and me. So it's such a cool honor to be in this position. You know, to see the evolve, because, you know, from my experience, going back from even 2001 and that early of a point to this point, and seeing how far it's advanced, Mr. Stan, thank you so much for all you guys have done. And just to see this advancement, it's a really cool thing. It's great for these guys. This isn't really about, the one thing I figured out in my years, this really isn't about coaches. It's about players and their experience, and walking out of this with a quality experience and saying I was thankful to be a part of that. That's what this is about. And, you know, for us in the development of our program, it's come a long way, and that's tremendous work out of our administration, out of our leadership with Coach Godding, and then coaches that have come before me. So we're at a point where we just want to see what the next step looks like. If you talk to our guys, they're very clear on their goals and what they want to do and what they're trying to accomplish, and they don't make any shortcomings, and there's no second chance at it. This is what they want to do. This is where they want to go, and that's it. So for me to come in and try to facilitate that and set a culture around, because, you know, we set a standard, and if our players will increase that standard, it gets really fun at that point, and that's our hopes.
Coach, since you've been back at the SAGU campus, what's the best part of being back on the campus?
Well, when I played for Coach, I had to do all the laundry and start at quarterback and a lot of other things. So, you know, just seeing the development, you know, because everything's a matter of perspective. So for some of you guys that starting a program, you have a perspective of this, and then 15, 20 years down the road, some other coach is going to have a different perspective. So seeing the development and seeing the vision that President Bridges has, along with Coach Godding, and just seeing that evolve. And plus, we've got some really talented players. I'm partial, which you should be, about yours as well, but I'm real partial to our guys. CJ's a tremendous player and a person, and then Jeremy over here. These guys just have a work ethic, whether it's, you know, they're always there, they're always working, and they're always wanting to be around our program. And that's the coolest thing. When you set a culture and guys want to be there all the time, it makes it really special.
Coach, as you begin this year and your team goes on the field for the first time, what do you want your team to be known for?
You know, we've set our core values, and, you know, and that's kind of, you know, culture's become the big buzzword, you know, culture. So we've set our core values, and we've tried to give each day an identity. You know, but the big thing is we want to be really just tough. We want to play tough, because what we told them right before they went on for summer is that at the end of the day, work will save your life. So no matter how talented you are, no matter how much God-given gifts you've been given, that if you will work, that'll override everything. So for us going into a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night game, we want to play tough. We want to play with grit. We want to be guys who show a lot of character, because we feel our institution is very different. We're very Bible-focused.
All of our guys are going to get an element of Bible-based education. So we know we're different. So the way we interact is going to be different. It's going to be uncommon, and the way we handle our business is going to be different. But at the end of the day, work will save your life. And if these guys will work like I know they're working, and if we'll be tough, that's going to be who we're identified as.
Thank you, Coach. CJ, last year you were voted the Offensive Player of the Year in 2017. This year, you are selected as the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in the SAC. What will your approach to, how are you going to approach the season to follow up and ensure that you have a strong season?
Receiving that award and being a nominee this year is it's a blessing and an honor. It's a testament to the players around me and how hard my offensive line works every single play. For me as a quarterback, I just have to grow every day, pick apart defenses, find their tendencies, and grow as a leader.
Okay. Now, new coaching staff this year, and you're kind of in a weird situation here since you were a medical redshirt for a year. This is actually your third head coach and your fourth offensive coordinator. Is that correct? In the 5 years that you've been with the program. So how does all that match up to your changing roles with your teammates, your changing roles with different coaches? How does that this year, how are you approaching that?
Different coaching staffs have different methods and everything, but Coach Smith coming in, he's high-strung, he's fired up. He relates to us very well. You catch him at 5 o'clock in the morning, you catch him at 8 o'clock at night, he's going to have the same energy. And him bringing that to this team is incredible, and it's going to motivate us, and it's going to bring us to the next level. For me personally, it's just be more of a vocal leader, keep making plays, and one thing that Coach Smith always says is be that guy, and that's one of my goals is just to be that guy.
Thank you. Now, Jeremy, you get to catch passes from that guy. So what's it like playing with the Offensive Player of the Year?
It makes a lot of things easier. CJ is an incredible leader. He comes to me, he says he can't be the only one being a leader. So my first year here, I wasn't a very talkative person, and he got me out of that little shell, and he just taught me how to become a leader within the receiver corps, and now I'm able to lead them into this season.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you.
So heading into your senior season, and this is kind of, this is it. So what are your goals individually and team-wise for 2018?
Team-wise, just be the best we can be. Let the dogs out, fight. If you're not competing, you don't need to be on the field, basically. Individually, it's really just staying healthy. Last year, I was hurt, missed the last 3 games. I was able to make the bowl game, but at that point, it really didn't matter. So just stay healthy, catch all the footballs CJ throws to me, and just be the playmaker they want me to be.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time up here. Thank you, and best of luck on your season. Coming up now will be Arizona Christian. Joining me on the stage are head coach Jeff Bowen, Joshua Kronk, who is an O-lineman, a senior from Tucson, Arizona, and then Austin Neislick, a linebacker who's a senior from Scottsdale, Arizona. So, Coach, if you would, give us your opening remarks.
First of all, what an amazing event that the SAC has organized, and Texas Wesleyan. This has been awesome, and I hope it continues. It's a really neat experience for the players. And our university, in 2014, our president, President Munsell, had a vision of growing our university and bringing football to our campus, and with the leadership of our athletic director, Jeff Rutter. It's amazing to see where we've gone in 4 years, and we're excited about year 5.
Well, Coach, you should be. You've got 12 starters back from a team that won 7 games last year. the conference-wise, you guys have won 17 of 20 conference games that you've competed in over the last 3 years. How do you think this year's team compares to previous teams?
It's a different vibe on this team right now. The focus is a lot different because 7-3 is a good season, and we're proud of what we accomplished. But we also know we were 48 seconds away from being 9-1 and having a better year. So just the focus on what we do, how we go about our business. We, in the recruiting class, we've really focused on not getting necessarily the best guy, but getting the right guys for Arizona Christian, because again, we're a faith-based institution, and our requirements for our players and our culture is a lot different. So just finding guys that can fit into that and grow in our program.
Coach, ACU stepped out, and I mean, there's no NAIA programs around you when you guys started football, and you brought football to Arizona. Now you have neighbor down the street who's also started football. How has the awareness of football in Arizona changed with them coming in, OUAZ, and having another school in your area that's competing? And then are you looking forward to having an opponent a little closer to home?
We're excited because it's about an hour down the road. Our guys aren't going to know what to do if we don't get on the bus for 17 hours. So we may just get on the bus and drive around the block for a day and then head on over there. So our guys will have to adjust to that. But it's great to have another small college that's playing four-year football in Arizona. There's not a lack of talent. We're the 5th largest metropolitan area in the country. So there's a lot of opportunities for Arizona football players to continue playing, which is exciting. My whole coaching career has been in Arizona, so I'm excited to see how small college football evolves in Arizona.
Joshua, you play O-line, and you guys put up 39 points last year in 2017 a game. What's it like being an offensive lineman in a fast-paced offense that's consistently scoring that many points?
Yes, sir. It's different, trying to go that fast. You kind of got to think on your feet, you got to think on the fly, and you just got to go. That goes back to our offensive line coach, Coach Parker and Coach Bowen, making sure every week that we're as prepared as we can be so that when game time comes and you got to get to the line and you already got to know what you're doing because the play's already in, you got to be prepared and you got to know what you're doing. And they make sure every week that we're ready to go and that we can go as fast as possible.
Now, you're a senior. So Arizona Christian, what has your experience been there? And what will you take away from being a student athlete at Arizona Christian University?
It's been awesome, seeing this program from year 2 is when I entered. But, all the guys that started the program were still around. And just kind of learning from those guys what they wanted to leave, what they wanted their mark to be at Arizona Christian, and what they wanted the culture to be like, and kind of building off of that. So, knowing all those guys and what they wanted it to be, carrying that culture on. And what I'll take away from Arizona Christian, I would say my faith. I've grown tremendously since I've been there. And, that goes to Coach Bowen and Coach Yanis, who started the program. They preach that, that's the most important thing, and that's what I'll take away most from being a player at Arizona Christian.
Thank you very much. Austin, played in all 10 games last year on the defensive side of the ball. What do you see your role on the team? Obviously, you're sitting here, and coach isn't bringing you along if you're not in some way and shape a leader. What do you try to bring to the team on that side of the ball, and how do you see your role?
Well, now especially that it's my 4th season, obviously I'm a senior, so I have some experience, I've been through it, but at the same time I like to lead the guys by example, be vocally leader, and at the same time be a servant leader, They're my teammates, I do anything for them, so I just like to be that guy and be able to lead them and help them out any way I can.
You're a senior as well, and you're looking back over your career. What are the things, is there a game that stands out to you, or is there a particular highlight on the campus that stands out to you in your career as a student athlete?
One winning the 2 conference championships was something I'll remember the rest of my life. But the games will fade. It's honestly just the memories and the people that I've met either on the team or just at the school. It's been a great atmosphere, a great 4 years, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So,
Coach Bowen, what's he like behind closed doors when you're in the locker room? Is he?
yeah, no, he's a great guy.
I wasn't implying anything else.
No. But he's a very relational coach. He builds good relationships with his players, which is something that is very important for a good program. He's a class act, great coach, and I've learned a lot from him in his coaching style. And I think the majority of the team responds very well to his style of coaching.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coach, any last comments?
Well, we're just excited for another season, and for the young men sitting in the room, I think you got to keep perspective that there's such a small amount of people that actually get to play this game, and that you get to go on and get a degree, but you get to play it. You get to play a game. You don't have to play this game, and I think sometimes we get tied up in words like just effort and culture and grinding and stuff like that, and I think it almost builds a mantra of the toughness of our sport, but also it's just a privilege to play this game, and our game is under attack in so many different ways, and just the positiveness of playing football and what it does for these young men after the game, and I think this conference is going to grow under the leadership of the Sooner Athletic Conference, and we're excited to get things started and play some ball.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it, and good luck on your season. Next, we will have the preseason favorite for the Sooner Athletic Conference, the Langston Lions, their representatives. Joining me on the stage at this point, head coach Quentin Morgan, and then Eugene Fuller, who is a linebacker, a junior from Stockbridge, Georgia, and then Jalen Lowe, who is a quarterback, senior from Collinsville, Oklahoma. So, Coach, we'll let you start by making some opening remarks as your team. You're coming off the CSFL championship, and now you're the preseason Sooner Athletic Conference champion. So, give us your opening remarks.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who had a part in putting this together. Stan, the coaches from Texas Wesleyan. You guys did a great job of putting this together. It's the first experience for myself and my players as well. Next, I would like to definitely thank my administration, my president, Dr. Kent Smith Jr., and my athletic director, Darnita Rogers. Without them, none of this would be possible for me because they trusted in me to take this program to different levels. So I want to thank them most definitely. And as for this year, we're really just trying to take it day by day. And we're trying to get better. We're working very hard. We're not paying attention to all the accolades from last year because it's in the past. Our main focus this year, my expectations for the kids, is to win every day. Not just the games on Saturday. Our goal is to win every day. And that started at the end of our spring. So, that's their mindset going into this year. We're going to work extremely hard. We know there's a bullseye on our back. And so, that just makes the kids even more excited about putting in even more work.
Coach, you guys had a 10-0 undefeated regular season last year, made it to the NAIA playoffs. Was there something that you did prior to the 2017 season that changed the mindset in the program, or was it just a culmination of the process that you put into place as the head coach?
I think it was a combination of the process. I have great kids around me, and and they follow good leadership. And I think that once they seen what my focus was and where I was trying to take the team to what level, they all bought in. And once they bought in, the rest is self-explanatory.
Okay. So now this year with 38 returning lettermen, 19 returning starters, including the starting quarterback, how do you continue to improve? How do you keep them hungry? How do you not allow them just to sit back and say, we did this last year, we can do it again?
Well, when you end off the season the way you did, where we did, of course, it puts a humble taste in your mouth. So that's our motto this year. We're going to be humble but hungry. You know, we're coming to work every day, and that's why I said what I said. You know, my expectations for them is to win every day.
Eugene, Langston's made a name for itself on the defensive side of the ball going back decades. Talk to us about the mentality you and your teammates take on the field to continue that tradition.
I would like to say that we are very hungry, very willing. We push each other every day to make everyone better. Just pushing everybody to their limits till, you know, if somebody cracks, if somebody breaks, either way, we're still pushing each other to bring the best out of each other, whether it's to better for our team, better for our school, and we just love the game of football. So we just play hard-nosed football at the end of the day.
Eugene, last year you guys started off 10-0, lost in the playoffs. What's your favorite memory from last season? And then do you have a personal goal for this upcoming year?
My favorite, personally, I really don't have a favorite. I've been a part of winning traditions since I was young. And my favorite, I'm just looking forward to next season, just taking it one game at a time. I really don't have, honestly, a favorite memory towards that.
Okay, thank you. Now, Jalen, you get a new turf field at Langston. You guys excited about that? Or were you tired of playing on the old carpet?
Yeah, we're really excited about the new turf. We're also excited about having all our home games on campus instead of going to Oklahoma City or Tulsa. So the new turf is nice. I love it.
That's good. And you were voted Athlete of the Year, CSFL, in 2017, and led your team undefeated regular season. What has to happen this year for your team to have that same success in the Sooner Athletic Conference?
I mean, I think we just have to take it one day at a time, like Coach said. We have to go 1-0 each week, and honestly, we have to work harder. You know, we went 10-0, but it's not enough. We want to go 10-0. We want to go deep in the playoffs. So just continue to work hard and just make each other better every day.
Now, you're kind of a hybrid player. I mean, you're one of those guys that we never know where you're possibly going to be lining up, right?
Yeah.
You could be at quarterback. You could be somewhere else offensively. But also in a punt formation, you could be back there, kicking the ball, right? So what part of the game do you really enjoy as a player?
In high school, I played punt return, kick return, receiver, corner, punter, kicker. So, I enjoy doing everything, but my heart is at quarterback. And I'm glad Coach Q gave me a chance to come to Langston and be the quarterback. And I enjoy punting. That's probably what I get most nervous about is punting, though, honestly. So, but it's fun.
Well, Coach, what do you look at one specific thing that it's going to take for you guys to repeat this year? This will be my last question, but having been champions last year, knowing the competition that's out there, do you look at one specific thing externally or internally that it will take for you to repeat as a champion this year?
Absolutely. Discipline. Before I took over, we were one of the most penalized teams in the CSFL. And this year, I think we were probably maybe the least penalized team. So, I think that if you continue to put that discipline on them, there's no telling what you'll get. That's my whole biggest thing. I think discipline is what got us where we're at right now.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time here with us today. And with that, I will turn it back over to Stan to finish us off.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, all the coaches and players. What we're going to do at this point, we do have some media here that would like to get some one-on-one interviews, and so this will end the formal part of the program. But for you coaches and players, I'd like to ask that you just kind of hang out in your areas. You don't have to stay seated, but just kind of stay in your general area so that the media know where to find you. give us a little bit of time. We've got some SIDs helping out. If you're in the media and need some help, let us know. We can flag somebody down for you. Again, we've got Tim Crowley here on behalf of our officials if you want to talk to him. And then all of our coaches and players that you've just heard from are available as well. And then coaches, before you leave, we do want to get a photo of all the head coaches in the conference together. So be sure and let's get that done before everybody leaves. But again, on behalf of the conference, we really appreciate everybody that's had a hand in this and everybody that's shown up for this historic moment in the conference. And we look forward to seeing you this fall. Thank you.